back at the 2010 PAC CoTESOL Conference, International Conference, with Peter DeMarco, who could have a lot of titles, and we'll get into some of those, but I notice on your badge it actually says media. So what are you doing at the conference?
I'm here at the conference. I'm writing a story for Korea Times newspaper about the conference, post-conference, what went on here, what the speakers talked about, that type of thing. So trying to promote KoTESOL more.
Is this something you do often, write articles for Korea Times?
Actually, this is my first article for Korea Times, but I write and photograph stories for 10 magazine and Seoul magazine and some in-flight magazine also for Philippine Airlines and yeah, a few other places.
Okay, a real writer, and so you can add another little line to your CV. You mentioned photos also, and I've seen your photos. Are absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Are you doing any photos here?
Yes, taking a few photos. I think they hired 2 other photographers to focus just on the photographs, but I'm also just taking my own for my article as well.
What has caught your eye? You know, with the photographer's eye, what are you seeing?
I like they have the Korea corner over here, and there were some people playing that game. What's the name of the game?
Not
Korean, not Baduk.
Yeah. The traditional game.
Anyways, the traditional game. Yeah. We've been in Korea for a while.
Yeah, we should know that. We can edit that part out. And just while we're talking about photos, where can people find your photos?
If you go to Flickr and type in Nomad Within, go to flickr.com. That's one place. Also, there is on Flickr. There's a group called Seoul Photo Club. And if you go to the Seoul Photo Club, you can also, sometimes I post photos there. It says Nomad Within is my kind of tagline or whatever.
I love that tagline. It's very nice. Yeah. Now, you mentioned 10 Magazine. We were speaking with David earlier. Yeah. What kind of stuff do you do with 10 Magazine?
10 Magazine, I usually do stories about things that people can do in Korea. They like to focus on outdoor events or things like I just did a story in October about scuba diving on Jeju. I've also done a story for them about hiking on the Jirisan Trail, not the trail that goes up the mountain, but around Jirisan, around the base of it, through some villages, more of a kind of scenic trail. And I did a story about Busan, nightlife in Busan for them.
What kind of research went into that?
It was very, very difficult.
Arduous research, yeah.
Actually, it was a little challenging because I went to one club, Ilun, and the bouncers kept on coming over. Even though I had permission from the manager, the bouncers kept on coming over and telling me, you know, like no photographs and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, so you write for all these different places, take photos. Do you have a day job?
Do I have a day job? Yes. I was working at Shilla University for the last 2 years in Busan. My first year I taught in Jeju. I lived in Sogipo, worked for Epic. I also do some teacher training for Epic. And lately I've kind of taken my own kind of sabbatical and been traveling and doing some kind of side jobs, a little bit of teaching, but not really full-time anywhere just yet.
How long have you been in Korea?
I've been in Korea for about 3 years now, or 3.5 years.
Where have you spent most of that time?
Probably in Busan most time, and then 1 year in Jeju. But I also lived in Jeju in 1979 for a year. My father was the second English teacher at Jeju National University. And so my father and family came over to Jeju, and we lived on Jeju Island in 1979.
How old were you at the time?
I was 6 years old, well, from 5 to 6 years old while I was there. So.
Did you retain any knowledge of Korean language from that time?
Yes, but unfortunately they're not the best words that you can say, but I know a few bad words, that's about it.
That's great.
But yeah, that's all I really remember.
They're really accurate. You can say them really well.
Yeah, but that's why I came back to Korea. I wanted to you know, go back to Jeju Island and see what it was like, and so ended up staying and teaching a year on Jeju. So.
We spoke with Sarah earlier about a lot of Epic stuff. How was your Epic training experience?
Actually, I never got trained by Epic because I was kind of making a backpacking trip through Asia, and Jeju was my final stop. And when I got there, I decided I wanted to stay, and so I just went to the Department of Education and knocked on the door and said, are you hiring? And I just kind of jumped into it, and so I never got to go to an orientation. But now I've been to maybe about 7 or 8 orientations, so I think I've been to more of them than most people have. So,
As a attendee or as a trainer?
as a trainer,
Okay.
yeah, teacher trainer with Epic.
What your experience as an Epic teacher? Did you feel prepared? What were your biggest challenges?
My biggest challenges were, well, I've taught 3 years in Spain before I came to Korea, so I already I felt somewhat prepared, but I've never taught in a class like a public school with, almost 40 students. So that was probably the biggest surprise, was the classroom management and, having a bunch of 7th graders just kind of running around and, just trying to get them motivated. A lot of them, their levels were very low. I was in kind of village school, a farming and fisherman kind of village school, so the levels were much lower and the expectations.
So having survived that experience and gone on to become a trainer, what words of wisdom do you have for someone who maybe has just gotten into the classroom and is thinking, oh my gosh, I can't control these kids, I'm not having a great experience? What advice do you have?
I would say the first thing is try to find some professional development. KoreaBridge is excellent for that. Also, it's a good way to network, meet other people. There's lots of sites online. BogglesWorldESL.com is a really good one to help you prepare for your classes. And then I would also say just network and try and get to know other teachers, people who've been there before. They say success leaves clues, just ask other people. And, And finally, I would say try to get to know your Korean co-teachers really well and just be flexible and try to learn as much from them as you can.
And for people who are out there thinking, well, I've heard about getting this job teaching in Korea, but I'm not sure if I'm the right kind of person. Mm-hmm. Do you think there is a right kind of person that would have a good experience here, or anyone can?
I think that definitely you need to be flexible. You have to be open to learning about new cultures, doing things different ways. Also here it tends to be a little bit more kind of last minute sometimes and changes, so the kind of common catchphrase is roll with it, and if you can do that, then I think it can definitely be a very interesting and rewarding experience. But if you're looking for things to be exactly the way as they are back home, then you're going to have a tough time.
All right. So what's ahead for Peter DeMarco?
What's ahead?
After a sabbatical.
After the sabbatical, do more teacher training, get more into the teacher training role, and develop my photography and hopefully videography soon once I buy a video camera. So.
Do you see yourself staying in Korea for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, definitely for at least a couple more years. I'll be here. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you next time. Maybe there'll be a few more items on the taglines.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Okay. Thank you.